Thank you for joining us. Before we get started on today's episode, just a quick reminder to please smash the like button in the bottom right corner and subscribe to Locked On Senators so you can be the first to know when new content arrives. The best way to help us grow is to comment on the video as well. So let us know if this is a player you want the Sens to draft or you think they should stay away from, and let us know why as well. This is one of 64 draft profiles that we're producing, so let's get into it. All right, getting back to our draft rankings, we are coming in at number 34. We're going back to the U.S. National Team Development Program. We know the Sens love it. It's a right shot defenseman. Another great name, Seamus Casey. What do you think of the kid?
Seamus Casey. I can't stop thinking about that without an Irish accent, Ross.
Big St. Patty's Day guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, that's my birthday, so great day to have a day on St. Patrick's Day. But back to Seamus here. He's not Irish. In fact, he's born in Miami, Florida, a hockey hotbed. Everyone knows that. The hockey just thrives down there. But Seamus overcame that kind of Florida attitude, and he became a really great player with USA under 18. He's got 48 games played, 10 goals, 23 assists, good for 33 points. And his dimensions, he's a 5'9" defenseman at 162 pounds. And he's committed to, I don't know if you heard of it, but Michigan University. I've heard they do decent things.
Yeah, I've heard they've been pumping out some good defensemen over the years too. And centerman, shout out Josh Norris. But with Casey, you're looking at an undersized defenseman again. NHL Central Scouting has him at 5'9", 162 pounds. He's rated as high as 18th on Scott Wheeler's list and as low as 51st with Craig Button. In between, we've got Chris Peters at 36. We've got Tony Ferrari at 22. We've got Bob McKenzie at 44. And then Corey Pronman and Elite Prospects both have him at 48. Pilsy, what's the biggest strength of his game?
I would say the biggest strength of his game is his ability to break the puck out. And that is a massive, massive strength for a defenseman because it's similar. I've mentioned this analogy before. It's like in basketball where you always want your point guard to start with the ball because they're the guys that have the vision. They're the guys that know how to set the play up. They're the guys that can make that good first pass to those offensive players. And that's what Seamus Casey can do. He's able to avoid pressure with his good skating and make a good first pass. And he's used a lot on the power play, but not so much highlighted because of his offensive abilities or his great shot or anything like that. He's used on the power play effectively because he's able to break the puck out and get into the zone. Like, how often do the Ottawa Senators have such an issue with, sure, once they're in the O-zone, they can cycle the puck and get some good shots off, but they can't get in the offensive zone when those penalty killers stack the blue line. Seamus Casey is a guy that can help you solve that problem because having an effective power play, half the battle is just if after the first faceoff, if they dump it and clear it out, you got to get back into that zone when there's four guys just standing there guarding the blue line. And that's what a guy like Seamus Casey comes in handy.
You ready for a very ringing endorsement? Ooh, Scott Wheeler says for his money, Casey is the best 2004 defensive prospect at the U.S. program this year. Wheeler goes on to say he loves the way he operates with his mobility, adjusting to pressure, effortless skater, weaving in and out of coverage, fabulous puck transporter through neutral ice, and a tactical player inside the offensive zone. Basically, he's undersized, but what he loses in like stature, he makes up for in skating and escapability. So I think that he's the type of guy who will be an NHL defenseman despite his undersized frame.
Yeah, and I noticed those things too, Ross. Like I watched EP again. They had a YouTube video where I think it was David St. Louis. He kind of goes through some of his plays and some of his shifts, and he does a good job of just avoiding pressure from opponents when he's trying to break that puck out, and he can get around them. And then now, it sounds weird to say, but now you've got a 5-on-4 essentially because he's just bursted past that one guy who put too much pressure on him, and you can start a breakout with more space and one open guy essentially. So I really think the breakout is a big part for him, but he's great defensively too. Like the
Yep.
hockey writers, they applauded his gap control. He's able to use his hockey IQ to read plays and anticipate where to apply pressure. Like he's really good with the pinches. Like there's a couple shifts where he pinches in, and I was like, I don't know if I would make that pinch there, but obviously Seamus Casey is a guy that has better hockey IQ than I do, and he read the play that the puck's coming around the boards, and he's like, I can beat that forward to that puck and keep this offensive cycle going. So I really think Seamus Casey, his hockey IQ and his transition ability is what sets him apart from the rest.
Corey Pronman mentions that defending, even though he does it well now, just based on his size. Again, this is just, you have to mention, it's too bad because the NHL is getting smaller, but especially when we're talking about defensemen, it will be the question at the next level. But his skating is so good, I don't think it's going to be a problem. He, Pronman, doesn't call him truly dynamic with the puck. So they're wondering, like, how much will he be an Eric Brandstrom type thing where you're like, you see the offensive skills, it's just not all packaged in a dynamic way that Quinn Hughes or one of these other, like Torrey Krug, those undersized defensemen, can play. But I like him. I like him enough to say 3.5 stars. He's a right shot defenseman, born on January 8th. And if we pull up, like you mentioned that he's born in Miami. Well, not only that, he's one of the rare players who is actually like trained down in Florida as well. Because like we've seen it before, like with Jacob Chikrin, who's born in Florida, but he was raised playing hockey in Ottawa area. And then we've got last year, Sasha Pastujov. His parents were in the circus in Sarasota in Florida,
Nice.
near where my parents' neck of the woods is. But when we pull up Seamus Casey's thing here, like he was playing Florida Alliance hockey under 16s. Must be nice. 29 points in 15 games there. He played at the World Under 18s, had 6 points in 6 games. That U.S. team was a wagon, although losing to Sweden in the finals. Offensively gifted, a very good plus player when he's out on the ice. I love what he brings. Again, I just don't think he's the Senators' type of defenseman. So I'll say 3 stars or 3.5 stars with Casey.
Yeah, I'm a little lower on him. I got him at 3 stars. It may sound funny because most of my comments were positive, and the breakout is so important in today's game. But yeah, there's not that one thing where I'm like, oh man, you missed on Seamus Casey. You missed this. Like you missed this skill.
Right,
Like,
right.
he just doesn't have it. And I'm sure if more analytically driven scouts and analysis would show him in a better light. But for me, I just got him at 3 stars. But I wouldn't be upset if the Sens went this route. And I think whoever's going to draft him, they're going to get a nice defenseman.